I'm about as real as they come.
All my beats tailored by Joe. House Digital.
Maserati Rick in Detroit. Convertible bird in Miami. Graduated summa cum laude. Strip club made a tsunami. Carlton Hines with the ball game. Grateful Edmonds with the snowflakes. Craig Pettis in the M-Town. Sal Magluta with the boat game. Falcone with the cocaine. Like Freeway Ricky with the plug game. Like Monster Cody in South Central. Larry Davis from close range.
You could say Nikko Jenkins and his relatives have had a colorful past. Just look at their family tree. 7 felons in just 2 generations. Let's start with Nikko's uncle, 51-year-old Warren Levering. He's a felon just released from prison in Oklahoma and has done time in Nebraska too. Investigators say he's fathered 7 children with 6 different women in 5 states. This week, prosecutors charged him as an accessory in the murder of Andrea Kruger. They say he helped Nikko get rid of Kruger's car and tried to set it on fire near 43rd and Charles. Prosecutors say Levering got the gas can from his sister's house, Nikko Jenkins' mother, Lori. Lori just bonded out of jail herself this week on an unrelated felony terroristic threats charge. In addition to Levering, Lori has 2 other brothers. Both are convicted felons. One is even currently on parole. Investigators say Lori Jenkins had 6 children with David McGee but never married him. McGee died in 2009 but was a felon himself, convicted of terroristic threats. Of the couple's 6 kids, 4 have been arrested in the past month. 23-year-old Erica Jenkins is a convicted felon, now facing murder and weapons charges in the death of Curtis Bradford. Friday, she told Judge Caniglia she can't be a killer because she's 3 months pregnant. Investigators say she has a 7-year-old son, too, that initially was placed in child protective custody. Erica's little sister, 18-year-old Lori Sales, known as Lolo, is charged in Bradford's murder, too. Prosecutors say she got rid of the murder weapon. A third sister, Melanie, also a convicted felon, bailed out of jail last week on unrelated terroristic threats charges. She's 25, and investigators say she has 3 children under the age of 7, and all were initially placed in child protective custody. As for Nikko Jenkins, he was just released from prison before prosecutors say he shot and killed 4 people. He's 27 years old and legally married to 22-year-old Shalonda Jenkins, seen here in a recent interview, and told us she's pregnant with Nikko's child. Nikko has 2 other sisters, both live out of state, and neither are in much contact with the Omaha Jenkins. A broad look at the ties to one man, a man prosecutors say has uprooted 4 other families.
Surprise in the mail. Good evening, I'm Rob McCartney.
I'm Melissa Fry for Brandy Peterson. Nebraska Corrections changed security measures for Nikko Jenkins. This after the convicted killer reportedly mails a razor blade to a state senator. KETV News Watch 7's Andrew Ozaki's in Lincoln with the big story at 6.
Its blade apparently broken off a plastic disposable razor. State Senator Ernie Chambers says it was taped to a letter and mailed to him last Wednesday by this man, Nikko Jenkins, from his segregated cell at the Lincoln Correctional Center.
Which is supposed to be secure and was passed to him with the indication that he can use that to cut himself further.
Chambers revealed this latest twist during a hearing of a special legislative committee. It's investigating the Department of Corrections' handling of the Jenkins case and other problems in the department.
That's what's happening right now under the governor's administration, under the attorney general's nose.
Chambers contacted Governor Dave Heinemann's chief of staff and turned over the razor and letter to the state ombudsman's office.
It's a scary situation because of the history of this individual.
A judge ordered Jenkins to be treated at the prison until he's deemed mentally stable to be sentenced for 4 counts of murder. He has a history of hurting others and self-mutilation.
And having him have access to this sort of thing is very troubling.
In a letter to the ombudsman, the Department of Corrections says they immediately stepped up security, not allowing Jenkins to shave in his own cell and making sure all razors are returned and accounted for. Jenkins can no longer have any contact with visitors. Luck says this recent incident shows there are some serious gaps in how the state handles the mentally ill. That was backed by testimony from mental health experts before the legislative committee.
We need better services for the most severely dangerous people in secure settings. Whether that means a state institution or a state hospital is unimportant.
In Lincoln, Andrew Ozaki, KETV News Watch 7.
Now, the Ombudsman's office has contacted the judge and the public defender in the Jenkins case about the razor. As for the special legislative committee, it has wrapped up testimony and will issue its report
A Douglas
in mid-December.
County judge wants to know how convicted killer Nikko Jenkins is still able to mutilate his face while behind bars. Jenkins has gotten a hold of razor blades more than once, and authorities are not sure where he's getting them. Jenkins killed Juan Pena, Jorge Ruiz, Curtis Bradford, and Andrea Kruger in a 10-day killing spree during the summer of 2013. KMTV Action 3 News reporter Jake Wozakowski is live at the Douglas County Courthouse with more. Jake.
Emily, Jenkins is seemingly in the same confinement situation he was before he was released the first time back in 2013. He's isolated by himself 23 hours a day. Now, I've got exclusive photos of what Jenkins looks like right now, and I must warn you, it may be graphic to some viewers. This is Nikko Jenkins when he was first booked for murder in September 2013. These exclusive photos show what he looks like now. More than once, Jenkins has gotten a razor blade that the prison says didn't come from his shaving equipment and mutilated himself. Jenkins says he has 9 lacerations to his face, tried to carve Satan into his forehead, and split his tongue. Today, Douglas County District Court Judge Peter Battalion asked the acting warden at the state pen, Robert Madsen, how he's getting the razors. The warden said he doesn't know how, and he couldn't guarantee it won't happen again.
That's always been a concern as to how to handle somebody like him, and he keeps doing things to himself, and that's the problem. It's as simple as that. I mean, it's, as the judge said to him at the end of the hearing, don't cut yourself anymore.
Madsen explained Jenkins is in a 23-hour confinement cell, doesn't interact with other inmates, a staff member checks on him every 15 minutes, and now has a camera in his cell. The judge questioned whether he was getting them in his food, which other inmates deliver. Quote, someone that works in the cafeteria could put a razor blade in the mashed potatoes and the staff may not see it. The warden didn't know if Jenkins was taking any meds. His attorney has long asked for him to get mental health treatment for bipolar and schizoaffective disorder.
Our position is he should be in the regional center. That's where that's where he should be. That's not going to happen, obviously.
Jenkins says he cuts himself to expose the hatred of the Nebraska Department of Corrections and wants to be moved to the Lancaster County Jail. Klein says he doesn't get that choice no matter what he does.
He's been attempting by whatever means to manipulate the system from the very beginning of this case, and that's just his nature.
The DOC says that they're not allowing him to shave anymore and that they actually caught one inmate trying to sneak a book under his door that had a razor in it. Jenkins is awaiting his death penalty sentencing phase that is supposed to be coming up in the fall. But in the end of this hearing, the judge basically said that if I was you, Father, the first thing I would tell you is to quit cutting yourself. Reporting live outside the Douglas County Courthouse in downtown Omaha, Jake Wozakowski, KMTV Action 3 News.
I had power over my life for 4 years, and I've struggled for 4 years. He don't get that power today, so no, I don't have anything to say to him.
Emotions run high as the man convicted of brutal murders in 2013 is sentenced to death. The first death penalty imposed since Nebraskans voted to bring it back. Nikko Jenkins had a lot to say in court throughout the last 4 years, but today he was noticeably quiet.
A judge methodically explained why capital punishment is justified, citing a bunch of factors, including that the 4-time killer has shown no remorse. Miranda Christian was in the courtroom. She has the sentence and reaction.
This case has been delayed for years, leaving 4 families wondering what will happen to the man who killed their loved ones.
This panel finds that the death penalty is appropriate, should be, and is hereby given for each of the 4 murders by the defendant.
4 death sentences and another 12 convictions, each with 45 to 50 years in prison. That is what the 3-panel judge ruled in the Nikko Jenkins case.
The defendant's commission of these 4 murders over a 10-day period is one of the worst killing sprees in the history of this state.
You don't get the glory today. I get the glory. My family gets the glory. God gets the glory.
The mother of victim Curtis Bradford was emotional after the verdict.
This has been too long. 4 years is a long time.
She says it's time to move on and let go of what Nikko Jenkins did to her family.
I absolutely one thing to say to him, he's had power over my life for 4 years. and I've struggled for 4 years. He don't get that power today.
Douglas County Attorney Don Klein says Jenkins is one of the most manipulative personalities they have ever seen.
And his history is a very dangerous person. And like I said, that's part of this process that the court found that he deserved the maximum punishments.
The three judges had to weigh his past, like his family history and mental illness, against the severity of his crimes. They also compared this case to others in the past.
Each one of these murders was a deliberate and planned act. The victims were pre-selected and the murders were purposeful.
And now it's a time for healing and for these families to maybe have some closure after 4 long years.
I'm ready to go home and heal. That's what I want to do. I'm tired, I'm weary, and I'm ready to go home. I don't never want to see this place here again.
Even if Nikko Jenkins isn't executed, he will still have to serve a minimum of 450 years in prison for his felony convictions. Reporting at the Douglas County Courthouse, I'm Miranda Christian, 3 News Now.
Today's sentence is the latest chapter in a terrible story that left 4 people dead.
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb ties. We on our way to Omaha with it. Nebraska. Is you bout it, fool? All my niggas from Omaha, y'all niggas get it in the comment box. Real fucking G shit. Niggas think we playing around here. Fuck around and get bodied. Now, today, we are going to be talking about a guy by the name of Nikko Allen Jenkins. And this is one of the most polarizing suspects I ever came across or that ever crossed my desk. If you've been tuned in with the mob or tapped in for a minute, this face looks familiar. We heard about him. But now we going back and doing a more in-depth look at him as far as his history, as far as his family. Now, Nikko Jenkins, he was born September 16th, 1986, and he is originally from Omaha, Nebraska, if I'm not mistaken. He was born in Colorado, but he was raised in Omaha, Nebraska. Okay, so now with that being said, he was convicted of committing 4 murders, which occurred within a month after he had been released from a prison sentence where he served 10.5 years of what was supposed to be a 189-year sentence, to where he received that from a carjacking conviction that he received when he was 15, as well as numerous assaults while committed in prison. Now, he said that he committed the murders because he's the commander of the ancient serpent god Apotis, whoever the hell that is, man. That's just wild shit, man. I would tell y'all more about it, but yeah, it's gonna spin the whole story. Y'all research that shit on your own, for real. So he was found guilty of those 4 murders and would end up confessing to those. Now, they're going to say at about 5 a.m. on August 11th, 2013, a patrol officer discovered 2 bodies and a white Ford pickup truck that was parked near the city swimming pool at 18th and F Street, and that's in the Spring Lake Park area. Now, the 2 victims were identified as Juan Uribe Pena and Jorge Ruiz, and they both had been shot in the head and their pockets had been turned inside out. It said that they were lured there thinking that they were able to have sexual relations with 2 women. Now, the random double murder began Jenkins' spree, and less than 2 weeks began his spree after he was released on July 30th. So now that was the first series of murders. Now, on August 19th at about 7 a.m., the body of a guy by the name of Chris Bradford was found outside a detached garage at 18th and Clark Street. Now, his body was found by a man returning home from a night shift at a local convenience store. Investigators arrived to find 2 bullet wounds in Bradford's back. It was later revealed that Bradford and Jenkins had posted for a Facebook photo the day before, and Bradford was the only victim that was familiar to Jenkins. So that's what kind of make it crazy, but really not, because a lot of murders are usually committed by people that it's just everyday shit. So now the fourth victim, a female by the name of Andrea Kruger, was discovered on August 21st at about 2:15 a.m. A deputy sheriff responding to a shots fired call found her body lying on the road at 116th Street and Ford Street with multiple 12-gauge shotgun wounds to the face, neck, and shoulder. Kruger had been returning home after bartending a shift at a nearby business on 178th Street in Pacific. Now, they had surveillance footage that showed her locking up the Deja Vu Lounge at right around 1:47 a.m. And at 6:30 that evening, Andrea Kruger's gold 2016 Chevrolet Traverse SUV was found abandoned about 12 miles away in an alley on 43rd and Charles Street. Now, later that week, in a news conference that was held by Douglas County Sheriff Tim Dunning, he stated that the investigators believe the SUV had been abandoned roughly 2.5 hours after it's been stolen, and it had been set on fire. So that would end the crime spree. Nikko Jenkins would end up being arrested on August 30th, 2013, on an unrelated terroristic threat charge. Could you believe that shit? By that time, the evidence against him was stacked, and they also had an image of a female associate of his on surveillance footage at a local gun outlet buying the kind of distinctive ammo, which was Brennicky Classic Magnum 12-gauge, commonly known as deer slugs, that had been used to commit a majority of the killings, or all of the killings, if I'm not mistaken. He subsequently confessed to those murders and then would go on to be a terror in jail, where you seen he was mailing out razors. I even seen one segment where he cut his penis off to form the shape of a snake. He was just on some wow shit, man. I don't even know what else to say about this, man. Y'all get in the comment box, man. It's your boy Popalot. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. We gonna be back with some more real trill spill shit. You already know what it is. It's the Mobb. Mobb ties.